Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
Just in the nick of time. We got about a minute left before Facebook dropped us. Oh, my gosh. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Good?
Good.
All right. For those of you who have no idea what's going on, you are watching Portraits of Faith. We don't have anybody watching us just yet. Hopefully that will change fairly soon. Let me get on the Facebook stuff, and
don't look at the private comments. Whatever you do, don't look at the private comments.
We're not going to look at the private comments. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so how you guys? You doing all right? Good day today?
Okay.
All right. So for
What
those,
was that? Oh, sorry, you're moving your phone.
So basically, what all this is about is that this talks about faith, about your belief in God. Seriously, you're gonna do that, Adam? Come on, brother. About your belief in God, about your earliest memories of what that was like for you, some of your most wonderful moments. So those are things that we're talking about. Okay. So okay. So
Uncle Rob, you do know that there's an echo, like a slight echo. I heard a slight echo.
That's because I had it on my cell phone. I just muted it. That echo should not be now. Okay, you're right.
Adam, stop drinking milk.
Milk, Adam, put the milk down, brother. Put it down. All right. So
It was just finishing up dinner.
Oh, just finishing up dinner. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So these, for anybody who doesn't know, this is my twin brother, Frank Sinatra, and his wonderful children, Adam and Ashley.
And the dog is like right here. He's like
and,
right
and Loverboy is lying down. Yes. Okay. Batman is longingly looking at the door, probably going to scratch soon to get out. So, Ashley, how old are you?
I'm 13.
You are 13. Good. I got that right. And Adam, how old are you?
10, but about to be 11.
About to be 11. What? What's the matter, buddy?
Excuse me.
Piggy.
Because he's 10.
Not to drink the milk.
Right. So,
This is either going to go really well or really bad.
well, we're about to find out. So, Batman, got to be a good boy. Okay. This is Batman. Everybody.
Hey, Batman!
No, he wants me to pay attention to him because I've been out for a couple of hours or so. That's why he's a little whiny. Okay, so what is the first thing, guys, that you remember about faith? What's one of the first things that you remember? Do you remember anything?
No.
No.
It's just kind of there. I don't exactly have my first memories. I
have my first memories.
What is that? What's your first memory?
It was
Adam?
like the first time that I went to CCD.
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 And do you know what CCD stands for?
No idea.
Dad's told us multiple times, but we forget it in around 5 minutes.
All right. It is called the. Hang on.
Sounds of typing.
We don't need elevators.
Stop.
Dude. Yay! We have someone.
It's called the Confraternity of Christian Doctrine, or CCD. So, what's one of the biggest things that has happened to you already as Catholics? What's one of the biggest things that happened to you as a Catholic? What do you think that would be?
Going to church.
That's
right.
not a big thing.
But that is a big thing. That is a big thing. Going to church.
We go to church every Sunday.
Right. Okay.
Every Sunday.
But
Adam.
But there's some things that you're able to do in church that you weren't able to do before. And what would that be?
Receive blah blah.
The Eucharist?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And what is the Eucharist? Or rather, who is the Eucharist?
Please get this right.
Jesus Christ, I do believe.
There you go.
Christ. There you go.
I'm
right?
not talking about the bread. Receiving the bread.
Yes, that's the body of Christ.
I have no idea.
Oh my!
My brain is shut down because of Corona.
Dude, these are the basic things you remember.
The basic
As
thing
you can
to
see,
remember
my
is that you
children's
don't
development
like
in
me,
their faith
but I
is
love
still
you.
ongoing, and sometimes we have a little bit of, you know, and it's tough for young kids to kind of grasp that.
Stop, but
You
and
know,
that's one of, also too. That's one of the things that is that we have to kind of work on, because I will tell you that 70% of Catholics don't remember or don't know or don't believe that the Eucharist is actually Jesus. And that's a problem because we don't talk about it as much as we should. We don't preach about it as much as we should.
keep going.
We don't we don't proclaim it as much as we should. So Adam, not saying that's it's one of the things that we have to work on as a church, is to make sure that you guys realize what you're receiving is what it is. Right?
I know. Also, I would like to complain about CCD.
This is not a forum for you to complain about CCD.
That's not for here, not now. No. Part of it is sometimes, and I'll paraphrase for Adam. It's that a lot of the kids don't take it seriously.
Okay.
And it's frustrating for Adam when he's in class and he's trying to learn. A lot of the kids they can be a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some, you know, and you know, sometimes a lot of the squeaky wheel gets the kick.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, and it's just, I think Adam is there for the right reason. He's trying to learn, and he knows it's important. And just sometimes other people don't take it as seriously, so it can be frustrating. Is that kind of where you were going with that, Adam?
Sometimes desks fall over because of that.
Yeah,
it's not cool.
You know, and as a continuing Catholic, you know, I know that a lot of times there are kids that go to CCD or CCE or whatever you're going to call it. Yeah, because of their parents, because it's, you know, they want to make sure that they get the sacraments.
There's a few kids in my class like
and then, you know, that's it. You know, they get the sacraments, they have a party around it. It's more of a cultural thing than a decision that they make, a lifestyle that they choose. And it can be frustrating, you know, and it's sort of, I kind of put it to my kids this way. All right. If you love somebody, don't you want to hang out with them? Don't you want to be with them? Don't you want to show that you care?
Yes.
And if you say that you love Jesus and you care about Jesus and you don't show up to his house once a week just to kind of say hi, what kind of relationship do you have?
Right. Not a good one. Not a good one. You are boot to him,
Adam.
But the whole thing is that, remember, God is always faithful to us. He can't be unfaithful to us. So let me ask you this very important question. Here is the important question. It's coming up. Hold on. So I'm going to put it on the big screen. How old do you have to be considered an adult in the church? How old do you think you have to be considered an adult?
Let me count my years. So actually, your brain has farted. Let's see. 8th, I'm 13, 9th, 14, 15th.
I'm just gonna
just give me an age. Give me an age. Give me a guess. Ashley, give me a guess.
17 to 18 for you to get your confirmation, which considers you an adult in your church.
I would say 8.
18, not 8.
Adam, how old? How old, Adam?
Give him the number.
Give him the number. Give me the number.
What did you say?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
8.
Okay, Adam is closer than Ashley. To be considered an adult in the life of the church, you have to be 7 years old.
Let's go.
You have to have completed your 7th year. In other words, you have to turn 8. So that's it. So, Adam, you got that answer correct. And here's the whole thing, Ashley. And here's a problem.
I won a car! Yay!
Okay, and Ashley, here's a problem with the way that we approach confirmation, right? Hi, Lovey. Hello. So, oftentimes we consider confirmation for you to be an adult, right, in the life of the church. But that's not the truth. You are no less a member of the church on the day of your baptism, right, than you are like when you become confirmed.
Excuse me?
All right, now Batman wants to go out. So let me let him out. I'll be right back. So, Ashley, you're getting ready to receive your confirmation, aren't you?
You're starting to prep for it.
I do believe, Adam. No.
Okay.
This is not
CCD teacher
All
Frank.
All right, I'll filibuster. Okay, so
I got a haircut.
yes, that's not what the people want to hear.
I got a train. I'm being annoying.
Oh wait, I
Yes.
just remembered
Okay.
something. Confirmation is in your 8th year. I messed up. I meant to say 14.
That's okay, but a lot of times it depends. There's some parishes that do have confirmation when you're in 8th grade. Others, they do it, when you're starting high school. So it really does depend.
Okay, so and here's another thing, and this is something for everybody to learn. What is the first sacrament that you receive?
Baptism.
Okay, that is correct.
Can you please get off of me?
All right. Now, there are 2 other sacraments of initiation. Adam, what are the 2 other sacraments of initiation? Do you know?
I don't think I've gone that deep yet.
All right, but you have already received one of them. What was it? You were in 2nd grade. We just talked about it.
It's
Your first Holy Communion.
Not the bread. Not the bread.
It
Not
is the
the bread.
body of Christ.
It's called the
not bread
Eucharist.
anymore.
It's called communion. So
I
it's
call
your
it
first-
bread and wine.
Yes, but that it only looks like bread and wine. It's actually the body and blood, soul, and divinity of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So
Isn't the other one like Holy Communion?
That's
Holy
what the second.
Communion equals Eucharist.
right, the
Yeah.
Eucharist.
What is Eucharist?
Okay, and then
That's Holy Communion.
it means it comes from a Greek word that means
You stepping it in?
Body.
Nope.
Bread.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Right, and charis means grace. You means life. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in the life of the church, the proper order of the sacraments of initiation, baptism, Holy Communion, and confirmation are this. We said the first one's baptism. We got that right. The second one actually
Is
confirmation. And then the third one should be First Holy Communion. In fact, some of our folks who are watching this right now had their First Holy Communion and their confirmation very, very close together. In fact, they probably received their First Holy Communion when they were in 2nd grade, and they were confirmed when they were in 3rd. So if anybody's out there and were confirmed very, very young, talk about it. There's lots of reasons why confirmation got moved around. That's not what we're here to talk about. But we oftentimes look at confirmation as Catholic graduation, but that's not exactly what it is at all. It's not us being an adult. Confirmation confirms what happens on the day of your baptism. So that's what that's all about. So, guys, what is your favorite mass? Do you have a favorite mass of the year? Do you have one that you like to go to more than anything else?
I have Holy Thursday, where you can go to all the different churches for the sacrament. I would usually do that with Dad, and we would, as Dad calls it, church hopping.
Yes.
I actually like the one where after you're done, you can actually do the decorations for Christmas because we like to help out.
Okay.
So I guess it's the third Sunday or the third or fourth Sunday of Advent, right before Christmas.
Right. Okay. So the fourth Sunday of Advent is generally right after that is when we start getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah, so because he likes to help out at the church.
Oh, okay, excellent. Good. So, and believe it or not, I think this year it's going to be pretty interesting because I think it's like the fourth Sunday of Advent and then like Christmas Eve. I think we have. I have to take a look at what the calendar tells.
Christmas Eve is on a Thursday.
Okay, all right. So that's not it. Wow. Oh, it's going to be crazy. So Christmas is on a Friday, and then the Holy Family is that next day. So interesting. Well, actually, it's the feast of Saint Stephen and the first martyr, and then that night will be Holy Family.
Yes.
So what else do you guys like to do in terms of church? Like, what else do you like?
I've recently been starting volunteering.
Oh, well, first Ashley, then Adam. So Ashley, you've been volunteering. What have you been doing?
I helped with the raffle basket and Irish night.
Okay.
That's all we were able to get to before the pandemic hit.
Right. Yeah.
Adam, no.
So, Adam, you like Ash Wednesday. Why do you like Ash Wednesday?
Because I get to get ash on my head.
Okay.
And I don't have to watch, and then I don't have to do mass.
Well,
we do the service because sometimes patients are a little thin.
All right. So, do you know that ashes on Ash Wednesday on the front of your head? Okay. That's an English speaking thing. So people in Australia, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Canada, and the United States, we're the only ones that put the crosses on our forehead. Do you know what they do in the rest of the world?
Circles?
No.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, it was the first shape that came.
Circle gets the square. No. It's not a game of liturgical tic-tac-toe, right? But no, they actually sprinkle them on the top of their heads.
You want some sprinkle with your head ice cream? Yeah.
No, guys. No. Sorry. Okay, so here's another question. Somebody has a question for you guys. Sit back, guys.
Come on.
Right. Thank you.
No.
Adam.
I bet you're really enjoying this idea that I suggested earlier today, aren't you, Rob?
Oh, it's a great idea. It's wonderful. The church is both young and old, right? It's not just all of us older folks. It's like the whole concept is everybody says, "Oh, young people." Right? They are the future of the church. No, they're not the future of the church. They are the church. They're no less the church than anybody else. So here's the question. Do you guys participate in choir? Do you guys sing in a choir?
I know he's off pitch in some way.
I think I could sing, though.
Adam sings very well from the pews. Yes.
I'm off pitch.
Ashley is off pitch. She tries, but she's.
But Ashley can play the piano, though.
Ashley
can. All right. So maybe that'll be
I tried the trombone. I don't think it stuck with me. I mean, it did work. It's just, I'm retired.
You're retired at 11. Adam Sinatra. Retired for the trombone at the ripe old age of 11 years old.
10. He's still 10.
He's almost completed his 10th year. He's closer to 11 than he is to 10.
I'm Herschel. I will try again, hopefully. Unless I'm gonna try
Mrs. Riddle is a much
better teacher than my other one.
She's a better music teacher.
So
it's kind
all right. So here's another question. Good question. Thanks for all the help, guys. Do either of you have a favorite song at church?
I do.
At church.
I forget it.
At church.
At church. At church.
Isn't
Me
it
and Dad? Didn't we used to sing one, Dad? Like the.
We sang a lot of them. Adam.
How about the Ubi Caritas Esferas de UCBS? I get that.
It's called Ubi Caritas. Yes.
Yes, that song I remember.
Okay, so
it's when he's like, oh.
You mean?
No. Oh dear.
Ubi caritas esfera Deus CBS. Deus CBS, right? Is that the one you like?
Yeah. Me and Dad like to sing it.
Okay.
Also, we like to sing it loud.
Yeah. Your dad sings. See, Lorraine likes enjoying the natural actions of children. I don't know if you call them natural or unnatural, but they're there.
What are you doing? Don't you dare step on
the dog.
Guys. Oh, it's the dog. Oh, it's the dog.
You can see the tail.
Interrupting our message.
All right. So,
No, be careful with him.
Lovey, say hello.
So, Adam, do you have a favorite hymn at church? Do you have a favorite hymn at church? A song at church?
What's a hymn?
It's a song. It's a song, Butts.
I just said that. The WCBS thing. I always thought it was CBS.
That's a news show.
CBS.
No, it's Ubi Caritas Esferas de UCBS.
WCBS.
It is CBS, isn't it?
CBS. I always say it. Dang you, CBS. I used to thought it was dang you, CBS.
As you can see, he gets his humor from his father.
That's what it means. Adam, relax, buddy. Okay, Deus EBS is so Ubi Caritas. Okay, Deus EBS means where there is charity, there is God. Right? Deus is God. EB is there, and est is. So Ubi Caritas Deus EBS means where there is charity, there is God. Okay, right. That's what that means. And then
get off.
Es vera is Spanish, right? Which means it is true. So basically, Ubi Caritas es vera. So where there's charity, it is true.
They
have lag.
Oh, they have lag?
You have lag.
No, we have lag.
You have.
I see you in time. So
I think we're okay.
You were like glitching out. I mean,
okay. I am not glitching out, at least not on my end. Okay. All right.
Glitching out. Hey, Dad. Did you hear how much money you got for the toys that Grandma and Granddad have?
That's not what we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah, okay. We are.
No, we're not. Adam. You know what? Why don't we pull them for a little bit? Maybe they need a break.
Okay, we'll give you a little bit of a break. Okay. So let me ask you this question, Frank.
Okay.
What is your role? What do you see your role as? What?
I am the ringmaster of a 3-ring circus.
Oh, they didn't have to go out. They
leave?
They left. They left us. I just put them in the. Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll bring them back.
Maybe we'll bring them back. What do you see your role as a parent in terms of your kids? Like, how do you deal with that? Like, you know, in trying to instill the faith in them. What do you try and do?
Well, it comes down to I try and share all the things that I enjoy about church, and hope that some of it sticks.
Right.
There's a lot more distractions today than there was when we were going to church.
Right.
There's people are getting pulled in different directions, and when you're younger, and CCD or CCE, it only teaches so much, and you try to give them that further fervor for the faith, and try to get them excited about it, knowing that they don't necessarily, and you even try to explain it to them, they don't necessarily grasp the big things.
Right.
What makes the Mass different than other Christian services, or why we do what we do every Sunday, while there's it's a tradition that's been passed down from generation, and and even it's tough for adults to grasp that every Sunday is special. It's even tougher for kids,
Right.
I mean, if it's going to be something where it's very easy to get into the fact where it's rote, where it's something that we just have to go and do this, and I try, when we're not sequestered from a pandemic or a dog. Yeah, somebody has the door open, I think. So he's barking at something.
Lover boy is barky. That's what he does. So
yes, but it's
go ahead.
It's, you try and create it into, it's not just you go somewhere for an hour. It's an experience, and it's an experience that you try and wrap it around doing it, as just taking the kids, dad takes the kids to church, and we do that, and it's you try and make it memorable for them, like or maybe hey, we'll go to Wawa after, and just not for necessarily for an incentive or a reward, but just to kind of create an experience and a memory and something they associate, that it's not just, all right, well, we got to go to church, we got to do this, we got to do that, doing stuff together as a family, and we have someone that we sit with, and we call her church grandma, and church
you have
grandma.
A church grandma?
I have a church grandma, and one time mom came to Mass, so we had grandma and church grandma in the same pew. And Maureen is someone that I've known for a while. She's at the library. She sees the kids all the time, and she goes to the same church we go to. And we like to sit with her, and Adam likes sitting with her, and we call her church grandma.
Come on, butts.
So and it really gives them a sense of that the church is not just community, but it's family. That we are brothers and sisters in faith. We're trying to give them those nuggets. That
not to disparage your parish at all, and we're not going to mention it, the name of it anyway. What would you like to see at your parish? Anything? Is there anything, like, if you had a wish list, what is something that you'd like to see that would happen there?
Well, I want to, I know that our pastor does a really good job, and I like him a lot, and he's very good with the different, our church is kind of diverse. We have a Spanish speaking contingent. We have, I like to call them the old guard. Very, they've been in the parish for a very long time. And we have some young families, and then we also have kids that that go to CCD, that are that they go to the parish, but not necessarily some. I mean, some of them go, some of them don't, and I would like to see more of, and this is on the parishioners. It's that sense of united community. That we all kind of understand that, it's not just, all right, well, we've got a Spanish mass here, and then we have this over here, and then we've got, confession here. It's through no fault. It seems like the puzzle pieces have to connect together to show the bigger picture. And I think that people, and this happens, it happens at, the people who go to the 5 or the 4:30 mass on Saturday night, they have their place in the pew. They have their seat. Well, at 8:00 or at noon or whatever, there's somebody sitting in that seat that thinks it's their spot, but it's everybody's spot. It's that sense of unity that I think is a little disjuncted because the restaurant is open at different times and we're all getting the same meal. They forget that, it's everybody's favorite restaurant.
Right. So let me ask you this, as a parent, how hard was it to keep the kids engaged in like the whole concept of mass and prayer during the pandemic? How hard was that?
It's been tough. I mean, the times we have spent watching mass in our pajamas, it's weird, and I'm not necessarily, we're not ready to go back yet. It's just, I know you don't have to yet. And I mean, some people are going, and I would really like to go. I don't know. It's a difficult decision for families, and I don't envy, the church, and the work that they had to put in. I know a lot of you guys are just, you're doing what you can. I know our pastor, because we have an older contingent, they're not necessarily that connected in with social media. We do have a live stream on YouTube, and we do have some social media presence, but a lot of folks are older and they don't have the internet and they're not getting fed, and it's just, it's I miss that ability to go into God's house and just be with everybody. And
right.
I'm not ready for it to be weird. Part of my day job is to, communicate what's going on about, the outbreak and how it affects the community we live in Pennsauken. And I see it a lot more on a daily basis, and I have to interact with it more. And I'm just, I'm not sure I'm ready to embrace what this is right now, just because I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, it could be nothing, but I mean, I'm not eating out. I'm still doing, I call them the Walking Dead runs. I'm just trying to go be like Daryl, get on his motorcycle, get the supplies, and not get bit.
Right.
And we've had a little bit more flexibility, and we're loosening up. I don't know. It's been tough, and I hope that the lessons that that foundation, when we're ready to go back, is, we're going to go back. It's tough.
Now, are you helping with the live stream at all? Are you involved in that at all?
I just shared on social media, and just was kind of a consultant. There's some other folks that have helped facilitate it. So, but it's just weird, man. Growing up the way that we did,
right.
Being just being so involved, like being like an altar server and singing in the choir and doing all these things, and just having the church as more than like a daily routine, but a part of the fiber of the way you live your life, and just to have it like cut off, like you're missing a leg. It's difficult to get where you're going.
Right.
I mean, it's tough enough to try and get into heaven on your own, let alone having all this stuff going on.
So, okay, Bonnie has an important question. I was going back to Mass until they said the epidemic has risen again. I'm 75 years old. What should I do? Well, I hate to say it's up to you, but it really is up to you. We have so I have a friend who is a safety logistics manager for a big national corporation. Okay, it's a trucking firm, and they have facilities all over the United States. And we were talking this morning about this very thing. That not to kind of blend things together, but the most important things are wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands. Those are still the three really important things that you can do when you go out. Now, at my church, and I'm sure at Frank's too, right, his parish, we do those things. We ask people that if you can, wear a mask. All of our seats are, and all the seating is 6 feet away from each other. In fact, when you're sitting in your pew, you are six feet away. The back of the pew, the seat is 6 feet away from the pew where somebody else is sitting in. That's 6 feet away. Wear a mask. We ask people to wear masks, and there are hand sanitizers. You can bring your own. We clean the pews after every mass. We have a cleaning crew. So those are the things that we my sound pixelated. Okay.
All right. Say something.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
It's better now.
Is it? Am I still pixelated now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. But so.
And there's other options, like I know in our parish, there's mass during the week, because right now the requirement, your obligation for Sunday is still suspended. Am I correct in that it's current? So
you are correct.
You can dip your toe into the water by going to mass on a weekday. You know, if your parish offers that, or if there's a parish around you that offers a weekday mass, you know, you can still go and try it out and see what's going on. I mean, I know there's a communion's done at the end.
Yeah, communion is done at the end of mass. Oh, sorry. I keep trying to get out of it. I keep end up taxing. So basically, what happens is that after mass is completed, the priest takes off his chasuble, and the deacon takes off his dalmatic. Okay. I put on my mask. I sanitize my hands. I go get the ciborium out of the tabernacle. I say, behold the Lamb of God, behold him who takes away the sins of the world. Blessed are those called to the supper of the Lamb. Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word and my soul shall be healed. Then we go to stations on the side. We invite people up, and you can receive communion either in your hand or on your tongue. And if something happens in which we get contaminated, like if we touch somebody's hand or we touch somebody's tongue, we do have sanitizer there. We put the ciborium down. I purify my hands on the corporal. I wipe them so there's no particles. I'll use the hand sanitizer again, let it all dry, and then we'll go at it again. That's how that's handled. Now, I want to talk about something that we have here at St. Padre Pio. I want to talk about the overflow tent. I have a tent, a 20 by 40 tent that we have squares spray painted on so people can sit and properly social distance. And I have a smart TV that's hooked up to the internet that is live streaming mass as we're celebrating it on the inside. So people, if you don't feel like you're comfortable coming in church, you can sit outside under a tent outside watching it, and then I will come out and distribute communion to you. So Don't underestimate the power of the overflow tent.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
So it sounds like you got a little bit of work to do with Adam.
Look, here's the thing. Adam, a lot of times, there's a lot of pushback. But when he goes, he sings, he has, he gets fed. It's just, it's a different type of feeding for him because he's young and he doesn't quite understand it. And, I think we put him on the spot a little bit, because this is kind of thrown together a little bit. Ashley's always been a little more academic with it, but, Adam understands. I mean, and I try and explain it to him. I don't see the balance. There's always a balance. Like, you don't want to force it down anybody's throat. You want to share what's important, but you don't want to make it like, we all know if you're getting a kid to the table and that you want them to eat their vegetables, they don't want to eat their vegetables. Or sometimes they do, but a lot of times there's going to be something on the plate that they don't want. They don't want to do it. They don't want to eat it. It's just something that really is they're vehemently against. And you try to explain to them that it's really good for you and it's important. And it wouldn't be on the plate if you didn't need it. The nutrients, the vitamins, that kind of thing. And that's the same thing with church a lot of times. Like, look, you're not always going to get it. You don't always want to go. But you have to. You have to put it together. Sometimes and as an adult, we struggle. Kids are going to struggle too. And it's something that you really have to, it's important to muscle through. And
right.
And it's even, and it's tough to do that when, as an adult, you ask questions about your faith. It's not, we talk about having a faith like a child. Yeah, but we know how kids are. I mean, they ask questions and they need answers, and it's so tough sometimes. The questions really kind of they hit you, and it's tough to, sometimes you're not sure you want to know what the answer is when it comes to faith. You just kind of want to know that, all right, there's some things you don't understand. Your brain isn't going to get it.
Right.
You're not sure what it is. But it's going to see if you can find parts of those answers on a regular basis that I think is important.
Now you talk about Adam giving a little bit of pushback. What are some of his, like, what does he say?
Well, it's, I don't want to go. Oh, I'm still tired. I just woke up. Oh, I went last week. Oh, I did this. Oh, but I want to watch this, and I want to do that, and it's stuff like kids just, it's like when they don't want to do their homework, or they don't want to, get ready for bed. They're going to find those regular everyday excuses to apply to it.
Right.
And only, and it's right now for them, it's a bunch of people getting together, singing, and there's a guy all the way up in the front, and he's doing stuff at a big table, and they're saying words from a book that, as much as you try and read it to them, it's not something that they get. They know the stories. I mean, they know a lot of the stories, but it's not like you can go and sit them down, hey, let's open up the book of wisdom. They're not going to get that. They're not going to, hey, let's crack open Leviticus. I'm sure that'll be fun. You can't, they have to, you have to open up the door a little bit, a little at a time,
Mm-hmm.
to let them know they can walk through it and find out what's next.
How do you help your family pray? How do you help your family pray?
The joke is that I mention the Lord's name a lot throughout the day, and some of it is, I just there's a couple of moments where, like for example, if somebody's sick, we say, all right, well, let's pray for this person that's sick. Or if somebody dies, all right, let's say a Hail Mary, for this person, and I know that a lot of times, like, I mean, they have rosary beads. I'm gonna admit it. We're not a family that sits down and prays the rosary together. We're not a family that does some of that stuff, because faith is not just prayer. It is action. It's something that
faith is lived. It is lived. It's like, in fact, mom and dad, their favorite priest is not me. It's Bishop Robert Barron. They love him.
Yes.
They love him. And
well, what's not to love?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I know.
I get well, Bishop Barron said, like, I'm tired. That's like my favorite new phrase. Well, Robbie, Bishop Barron said, so Bishop Barron talked about today about the gospel, which was the healing of the paralytic in Matthew's gospel, right? So what does Jesus say first? Your sins are forgiven. And then everybody grumbles. Who is it that he can say that sins can be forgiven? And then he says, okay, so to let you know that this is more than this, right? Pick up your stretcher, get up, pick up your stretcher, and go home. Like, walk, move, do something. So he's like, Bishop Barron talks about how he says, your sins are forgiven. To say, yes, we're sinners, but let us not be obsessed with our sin, oppressed and overwhelmed by our sinfulness. Enter into conversion because our sins are forgiven. Let go of them and then live your life. Pick up your mat and go. Right? Because it's not just the forgiveness of sins, it's the forgiveness of sins in combination of living out a life of faith. So that's something important. Okay, and remember that one of the most important words used often in sacred scripture in the Old Testament and the New Testament, which is not a dirty word in terms of Catholicism, is this: power. Right? God gives us power. He gives us grace to live out our lives in the way that he asks us to. And we can pray, and praying is important. Praying is the fuel, right? But we got to light the match and bring it into action. Because let me tell you, those nuns that are contemplative, those monks that are contemplative, that spend their whole life praying, they are fueling the life of the church in so many different ways. So.
And I think you got to remember, like, DC Talk. Remember that band? The
yes, I remember
band.
that. Yes, I remember that.
They have a song, "Love is a Verb." And it's, if you love Jesus, how do you show someone you love them? Oh, Bishop Barron, I love you so much. This is great. I'm glad you're here. Blah blah blah. All right. Now what? I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you love them, what do? You got to show it. You got to show it and grow it. You got your love. You have to grow that love. You have to do that. And there's actions, there's steps. And I don't need to tell everybody here, we get it wrong a lot, like a lot, and we're trying. You know, there are people that, you know, that aren't really looking for this stuff. And sometimes the people that aren't looking for this stuff, they're acting a heck of a lot better than we are.
Right.
You know, and it's one of those things where you just have to realize that part of this process, this growing process, is painful. It's uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. And you just have to, you know, muscle through it to get to the end result. And the end result is just another day to try it again.
Right. So we have about like 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for Frank or for Adam and Ashley if they ever decide to get back on it?
I think it's getting closer to their bedtime, so they're being prepped for bed.
Okay.
But I do appreciate you having them on and asking the questions, and they are adorable, and I love them. It just, as it gets later in the day, they turn more.
They get a little bit more. They get a little more
turn into
punchy. I get it.
Yes.
I get it. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody at all? It'll take a while for them to pop up anyway.
Okay.
Now we don't have to get.
Okay, I guess nobody wants to add.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
It's not that. Oh, well, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. So,
yes.
Was that Adam or Ashley?
That was actually Ashley yawning. That's her yawn, believe it or not.
Unreal.
Yes.
Unreal. So, well, Frankie, thank you so much for okay. There are no reservations. I am not a restaurant. I am a field hospital for souls. I don't have to make reservations at Mass. You show up. You're always welcome. I know why people are doing that. I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all. I don't like the fact that sometimes you have to make reservations to come to Mass. Cherry enjoyed the kids, yes. And because they were very honest.
Yes, they were. Yes.
Adam's like, can I say why I don't like CCD?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, Adam is a ham too. So.
Oh, he is.
But
yeah, but I don't make reservations at Mass. You don't have to. There's plenty of space. We've never had a full Mass yet, and we have the overflow tent. Did I say we have an overflow tent? Because we have an overflow tent.
Yes, you have an overflow tent.
Overflow tent.
Yes.
All right.
I bet if I had a puppet,
okay,
people would want to say something. I don't have a puppet like your other co-host that you hang out with on Friday. It's just me.
Actually, we're not.
It's just me.
By the way, speaking of capes and collars, I am actually going to help out the Franciscan Sisters of the Renewal with their Light the Fire event tomorrow evening. I'm going to be, I believe, hearing some confessions. So I am not going to. We will bring back the kids. We promise we will. We will bring them back. So we're actually going to move capes and collars, I believe, to Sunday. So it won't be on Friday night. It won't be on the 4th of July. It'll be on Sunday. So, that's what we're going to do. So, so you won't be able to see Fuzz on Friday night. You'll see Fuzz on Sunday sometime. Unreal. Okay, Bubba.
Right. Can I share one more thing before we go?
Yes, you may share one more thing before we go.
I think no sound. Do I have sound? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you fine. But Bobby's saying that we don't have sound. It might be I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I can hear you. Okay.
Let's see. Come on, internet. Sometimes it happens. It depends on what it is. Okay, that's good.
Okay, good.
We have sound.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think some people, they're inclined that when they're going through some tough stuff, and there's some things that happen, and we've kind of been disconnected with our faith communities, they have an inclination to stay away. In reality, it's the perfect time to go. So if there's anybody out there that's kind of been watching and they haven't been to church in a while and they're looking for something, if you're looking for an excuse or an invitation, there's a lot of seats at the Lord's table. And, and the meal is the best one in town. So, and it's something I struggle with a lot too. Do I get it every Sunday? No. Does it resonate all the time? No. Do I have a lot of doubts and questions? Absolutely. But it's something that, it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you really kind of have to muscle through. And sometimes that first step in order to find out what that answer will be is to just show up and kind of see what happens.
Absolutely.
So show up, see what happens. That's kind of it.
Okay, so for Ashley, Adam, and Frank Sinatra, I am Father Rob Sinatra. This is Portraits of Faith. We will be back next Thursday evening with another guest, and hopefully I can remember to get one. I want to thank Frank for his flexibility and his willingness to corral his kids, who are awesome, to come and talk to us. So thanks, Frankie.
You're
Love
welcome.
you, brother. And we will talk to you next week. Take care. God bless.